Okay, hello everybody. I hope you are doing good. Here I am. I'm very happy and nice to meet you again. I've really missed you guys. Let us say hi to each other, then we start the lesson. I think that will be nice. Yeah. So everybody can introduce themselves. You can say hi and how you are doing. Then I start my lesson.
Okay. Somebody's giving us feedback. There we go. Okay, it's gone now. That's great. I'm Nicola. I am Duncan's editor and Duncan's assistant. Okay, and I'm delighted to see you all here today as we continue to learn this. This journey is provided by Duncan and your associates and colleagues and community regarding the potential for food security for all, without chemicals and pesticides and so forth and so on. I'm going to pass the microphone on to Mr. Tayebwa Phillips, and if you could say hello to us.
All right. Thank you so much, Nicole, and I welcome everyone. My apologies, I have, not joined you for last two sessions. Because of time, I was doing some other things. But I'm very glad to be here. I'm Tayebwa Phillips. I'm also practicing permaculture. I'm based in Nakivale, Uganda, and I'm a CEO and founder Healing Health, Healing Hearts. Yeah, I'm very grateful to be with you today.
Wow. Next person. Okay. Maybe Dennis, you can introduce yourself because we have also new people there in this meeting we have today.
Excuse me, Duncan, there's double feedback. So what's going on is actually as you speak, all right?
Yep.
Somebody else is hearing that on the phone, and I think that's why we're getting feedback. So if you're with Tracy and she's watching on her phone, I think that's why we're getting feedback.
Okay. Then
Let me put it off.
I'm just trying to help a little bit now so we don't have... Yes, that's fine, Christina, all right? It's also the feedback in the room. Thank you so much. All right. Hello, Tracy, my darling. Hello, my love.
So I disconnect like that.
Yeah. So I think it's okay now.
Done. I'm going to put myself on mute. Duncan?
Okay. So, because let us start. I'll just start right away because maybe in the introduction will take a lot of time and I've got a lot of things to teach today. So I have to start. Today we are going to permaculture design and we will start with building a swale. Okay. Yeah. So let us start with building a swale. Some of the people, I hope they are taking notes. So today I'll be a little bit faster because I need to capture up so many things today. So building a swale. So when building a swale, it will be about 3 times as wide as it's deep, And the berm, the pile excavated, that should be mounted to create the upper part of the bottom side of the swale. So if you are left behind, you will get the notes after the class. Nicole will produce them. So because I need to capture a lot of things, I have got almost 12 projects, So make sure that the base of the swale is level so that the water disperses evenly. When you are making a swale, you make sure the bottom of the base of the swale is level so that the water flows up easily. So other than catching up and storing water on your land, the biggest benefit of having a swale is the growing potential of the berm. So that is it. And it will be mostly composed of rich topsoil that will be well hydrated. That is all about swale. So importance of planting the berm. Somebody may ask, importance of planting the berm on a swale. It is important to plant a berm immediately to prevent it from eroding. So that it acts like controlling the erosion of the swale. Yeah, to prevent the soil from filling up the swale. So another importance of making a swale is to avoid possible problems is to plan for passive overflow. So let us design what is a permaculture swale. What is a permaculture swale? Are some people writing so that maybe a little bit I can slow down?
Yeah.
Okay. What is a permaculture swale? A permaculture swale is a shallow trench dug along. A permaculture swale is a shallow trench dug along. A permaculture swale is a shallow trench dug along. Permaculture swale is a shallow trench dug along. The land's contour, comma, with a berm on the downhill side, comma, with a berm on the downhill side, created with soil from the trench, So that is what we call a permaculture swale. Let's proceed. Why is a permaculture swale could be helpful in your yard? Why a permaculture swale could be helpful in your yard? We proceed from there. So first, it mitigates the stormwater runoff. That is the first one. The other one, it is an easier way of catching rainwater rather than tanks and buckets or barrels. It is an easy way of catching rainwater rather than tanks and barrels. The third one are more efficient than tanks or barrels, Like now in my swale, I've got a lot of water, but it hasn't rained for the past 1 week. But I have a lot of water in my farm. It builds self-sustaining ecosystems. So those are the reasons why a permaculture swale can be helpful in your yard. Okay, somebody may ask, why is a permaculture swale? How deep a permaculture swale should be created? How deep should a permaculture swale to be created? We proceed from there. It should be 6 to 12 inches deep and 3 to 4 feet wide. 6 to 12 inches deep and 3 to 4 feet wide. And also we find that there are no hard rules about the size of a swale, but the bigger it is, the more it can store more water or absorb more water. The bigger it is, there are no hard rules in building a swale. But the more it's bigger in size, the more it will absorb more water and store more water. That is the experience I have in my farm. I dug it deep and wide. It stores a lot of water. Let us go. Somebody may ask me what is the difference between a berm and a swale. So you can explain. A vegetated swale is a grass line depression. A vegetated swale is a grass line depression that slows down the runoff water velocity. That slows down the runoff water velocity and infiltrates the water into the soil and infiltrates the water into the soil. Let me explain what a berm is. Berms are low earthen walls adjacent to the ditches. Berms are low earthen walls adjacent to the ditches that can be used to help in retaining water runoff, in a designated area along the downhill, The next step, what is a swale in gardening? Somebody may ask you, what is a swale in gardening? Yes, you do gardening, but what is a swale in gardening? Swales are shallow, broad, and vegetated channels designed to store and or convey runoff and remove pollutants. Designed to store and or convey runoff and remove pollutants. We proceed. Types of swale. Grass swale. What is a grass swale? We proceed. It is an earth channel typically lined. It is an earth channel typically lined with tough grass. Designed to capture, convey and treat stormwater. Runoff from small drainage areas by a combination of physical, chemical, and biological processes. So that is all about grass swale.
Sorry,
the second
Duncan.
one.
Please forgive
Yes.
me, Duncan. As you know, I'm typing. If I want to check the spelling of something, I'm going to put it into the chat. Is it okay to keep an eye, open up the chat so that you can
Yes.
see that? Is that all right?
Yes. I saw it. The turf is the spelling of the turf. I saw there. It's good.
Okay,
That is
fine.
the
So if
correct-
it's a problem, tell me. If it's not a problem, just ignore it. That'll make it quicker. Okay.
Fine.
Thank you
Well
so
noted.
much. Thank you.
Well noted. Okay, let us proceed. Infiltration swale. In many processes, people teach swale, but they don't teach the types of swale. You may say, "Oh, what is these types of swale and what is their meaning?" So let us proceed with the second one is infiltration swale. So this is a swale that is essentially a grass swale. This is a swale that is essentially a grass swale. That check dams placed along its length. To create a flatter bed for temporarily holding stormwater. That is all about infiltrated soil. So let us proceed. Yeah, that's okay, Nicole. Bioswale. Many people know biogas. Also, we have got bioswale. So we proceed. Bioswale is a swale that incorporates a biorentation,
What's the word, Duncan? Bio, that incorporates a bio...
Rententation. It's a bit more tricky. A biorententation. Yeah.
Spell it, please. Bio, spell it, please.
Bio, RENTENTEEION.
Biorentention.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Biorentention. Yep. So biorentation elements, promoting infiltration and filtration primarily by employing engineered media with an underdrain. Engineered media with an underdrain. So it's like it has got an underdrain in it. So that is what we have got the bioswale. That is the meaning of the bioswale. Let us proceed with the wet swale. We have got the wet swale. This one is it's the same. It functions similarity to stormwater, wetlands, and is designed to fit in linear environments. Well, it functions similarity to stormwater and wetlands, and it's designed to fit in linear environments. That is all about swale. The next step, keyhole garden. People usually make keyhole garden, but do we know the definition of keyhole garden? Okay, let us proceed. What is a keyhole garden? A keyhole garden is a 2-meter wide circular raised garden with a keyhole-shaped indentation on one side. It is a 2-meter wide circular raised garden with a keyhole-shaped indentation on one side. What is the function of the indentation of the keyhole garden? So the indentation allows gardeners to add uncooked vegetable scraps, gray water, and manure into composting basket that sits in the center of the bed. So this indentation fits in the center of the bed. So it's that is the meaning. That is the work of it. It allows the gardeners to add uncooked scraps, gray water, and manure into composting basket that sits in the center of the bed. So inside that swale, we have got the composting basket where you put all your scrap materials from the kitchen, maybe the waste products, you just put in there, you know. Okay, let us proceed. What is the keyhole garden method? You can ask yourself, what is the keyhole garden method? And we can say, a keyhole garden is a raised garden bed built from organic materials layered in a circle between 6 and 8 feet wide. A keyhole garden method is a raised bed garden built from organic materials laid in circle between 6 and 8 feet. So when you build a keyhole garden, first of all, after building your keyhole garden, so keyhole gardens you can build with many materials. Like Dennis, I saw he used sisal, he tied it with sticks, and you can use, if you have got the, well, how do we call it, bricks. You can build it using bricks, you can build it using stones, you know. And after building it, what you do, you put organic materials that rotten on the underground part, you put heavy ones, then you put soil inside it, inside the swale. And inside the swale, we have got that a composting basket. And the composting basket, you should not fill it with soil. You only fill it with the scrap metals, like the waste products from the kitchen. Maybe you cook, you have got the waste products from the onions, you place them there and other materials along. So let us proceed. How to create a keyhole garden? First, how to create a keyhole garden? Cite your location. Determine shape and size. Second, determine shape and size. First, cite your location. Second, determine shape and size. Second, create your compost basket. You have to create your compost basket. And third, you build the walls. You build the walls. The next one, add soil or other materials. Add soil or other materials. Other materials are like the organic materials you put before adding the soil. So you must follow that. And the next one, plant your new keyhole garden. Then what you have to do for keyhole garden, you keep composting and watering. You keep composting and watering. Let us proceed. Why? Somebody may ask you, why do you feel a keyhole garden? Somebody may ask you, why should you feel a keyhole garden? Or how do you fill your keyhole garden? Or what do you use to fill your keyhole garden in? So this is the use, or what you can use to fill the keyhole garden with. The bed is filled with rocks. The bed is filled with rocks, yard waste, decomposable plant materials, and a thick layer of soil, or compost on the top of planting, or compost on the top for planting, or compost on the top for planting. Somebody may ask you, do the keyhole garden smell? This is the answer for that. Like in theory, the compost basket is the center of your keyhole garden, should not smell, the compost basket in the center of your keyhole garden should not smell, but there are always a chance it gets a little stinky if it is out of balance. But there is always a chance if it gets a little stinky if it is out of balance. So there's also a type of farming I want to talk about before I finish up with keyhole garden. But let me finish up with keyhole garden. Where was keyhole garden originated from? It was first made popular in Africa. That is when the keyhole garden started, where water scarcity and availability of fertile land were issues because of the persistent hot and dry climatic weather conditions. As you know, Africa is near the equator and the temperature is always high. So this is the main reason why the keyhole garden was started, So initially, keyhole garden was developed in Lesotho. That one is in South Africa. It was developed in Lesotho in South Africa. So let me proceed. There is a type of garden known as Mandala garden. Many people doesn't know this. There is a type of garden known as Mandala garden. So in Mandala garden, it is an engineer solution. What is Mandala garden? A Mandala garden, it is an engineer solution. Gardening, allowing families to capture precious runoff water and grow potential vegetables. So that is the meaning of Mandala garden. It is an engineer solution. Gardening allow families to capture precious runoff water and grow potential vegetables. We have got half moon garden. What is half moon garden? Half moon garden is simply a garden that is meant to be enjoyed by the light of the moon or at night time. Or at night time. You may ask me, why is it called a, a moon garden? And this is the answer from me. Why is it called a moon garden? Planting by the science is often called moon gardening because scheduling planting, because scheduling planting, cultivation and harvesting of crops is based on moon phases. As you know, we have got types of moon phases, so I'll not get into that. What is important, you know, why is it called moon garden? And you may ask me, what color are moon gardens? What color are the moon gardens? So this is the answer for me to you. Moon gardens plants should be light colored so that they reflect the moonlight. They should be light colored so that they reflect the moonlight. Consider these plants with flowers. You should consider these plants with flowers. Consider with these plants with flowers or foliage in shades of white, or foliage in shades of white, off-white, white, off-white, cream, silver or gray. Silver or gray. Then, what flower is connected to the moon? You may ask me what flower is connected to the moon. This is all about moon garden. So, there are several sacred datura. Night blooming cereals and several species. Night blooming cereals and several species of morning glory. Of morning glory. Heart garden. Let us proceed to heart garden. Heart garden. Heart garden, to me, but you will get the exact notes from Nicole, but I would like to explain what is heart garden is. Heart garden simply, it just resembles the Keyhole garden, but it doesn't have the basket in between side. I mean the compost in between the garden which you compost your waste. So that is simply what is called heart garden. But you will see the notes from after the handouts from Nicole. So that is what is known as the heart garden. You just made it the same with the Keyhole garden, but the composting basket is not there. So that is what we call as the heart garden. Heart garden resembles your heart, how your heart looks like. So that is the difference between the heart garden and the Keyhole garden. Okay. Also, we can go to organic composting. Organic composting. Organic composting. Composting is controlled, aerobic, in bracket, oxygen to required, in bracket, oxygen to required, closing bracket, process that converts organic materials into nutrient, that converts organic material into nutrient, rich soil amendment, or mulch through natural decomposition, or mulch through natural decomposition, and the end product is compost dark, is compost a dark. The end product is compost a dark, comma, crumbly, comma, earthly smelling material. If your compost is not smelling, is not earthly smelling, then that one is not a compost. So that is the meaning. What are the 5 types of composting methods? We have got 5 types of composting methods. First one, composting basics. First one, composting basics. Second one, on-site composting. On-site composting. Third one, vermicomposting. Vermicomposting. Fourth one, aerated in bracket and windrow composting. Windrow composting. Then the last one, aerated static pile composting. Aerated static pile composting. The process of composting organic waste. So, what are the composting processes involved in this organic waste? So, let us proceed. We have got the microorganisms feeding in composting material and consuming oxygen. We start with that. The microorganisms feeding on organic material and consuming oxygen. The process generates heat, comma, drives off moisture and reduce bulky organic waste, drives off moisture and reduce bulky organic waste into beneficial soil-like material, containing nutrients, humus and microorganisms in just a few months. Containing nutrients, humus and microorganisms in just a few months. Types of composting. Aerobic, there are 3 of them. Aerobic, vermicompost, and anaerobic. Somebody may ask me, what are the organic waste used in compost manure, in making a compost manure? What are the organic waste used in making a compost manure? First one, organic waste used in making a compost manure. First one, we have got brown materials, including dried plant residues, grass, leaves, maize stalk, or maize stova, you can say maize stalk or maize stova, You can cut the maize stalks of maize, the ones which have been harvested, the dry ones, you cut them and you make a compost with them. So the next one, we have got green materials of plants such as kitchen waste and animal manure. Green plants such as kitchen waste and animal manure. So that is all about that. And let us proceed. Today I'm going a little bit faster with the reason, and you will know the reason after finishing this class. So, what makes a good compost manure or a good compost? What makes a good compost? So, let us proceed. The best and easiest source of organic matter for your compost pile is kitchen waste. That is the best. The kitchen waste. That is the best and the easiest source of organic matter for your compost pile is kitchen waste. All kinds of fruit and vegetable matter, all kinds of fruit and vegetable matter are great as part of kitchen waste. But animal fat, not this, but animal fat and oil are not recommended at all, are not recommended. Let us proceed to stages of composting process. Stages of composting process. Mesophilic. First one, mesophilic. Thermophilic. Thermophilic. Maturation. 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 The reason why. So I've been telling people compost is better than fertilizer. And this is, I taught this in Kisii with my brother Joseph Ogemba. I was working and seeing people using fertilizer on their farms and telling them the best way. So this is why compost is better than fertilizer. Compost is rich in nutrients. Compost is rich in nutrients. Compost is rich in nutrients, and therefore it increases the fertility of the soil. And therefore it increases the fertility of the soil. Although fertilizers also increase fertility of the soil, note this, although fertilizers also increases the fertility of the soil, there are artificial chemicals that can pass through the soil to the water. There are artificial chemicals that can pass through the soil into the water. And therefore, the chemicals can be fatal for aquatic life. And therefore, the chemicals can be fatal for aquatic life, So that is the reason why organic compost or manure is better than fertilizer. So fertilizers are chemicals. So when you use fertilizers, they can bring damages to our rivers, They are not good for aquatic life. Tips for composting success. If you are doing composting, these are the tips for your success. So tips for composting success. Chop larger materials as you add them. You chop the larger materials as you add them. You chop the larger materials as you add them. Mix the brown materials with green materials. So when you do composting, you mix the brown materials with the green materials. The next one, maintain the moisture as a damp as run out of sponge. Maintain the moisture as damped as run out of sponge. So there is a part that I touched on vermiculture. So I want to tell you the meaning of vermiculture. I mean the reason of vermiculture. So what is vermiculture? Let us start. Vermiculture. What is vermiculture? Vermiculture, it means artificial way of rearing or cultivation of worms. Or cultivation of worms, in bracket earthworms. Not other worms, but in bracket earthworms. And the technology is the scientific process of using them for the betterment of human beings. It means artificial rearing or cultivation of worms, in bracket earthworms. And the technology is the scientific process of using them for the betterment of the human beings. So that is what is vermiculture. So I was not supposed to touch that, but it falls under permaculture, and it's good for your soil. If you keep worms, One day you like to keep worms. I will teach more about it. So, okay, let us go to mulching options. If you don't, if you don't have, maybe in your area you can't find maybe maize stalks, you can't find some of the other mulching materials. What are the mulching options? Yeah. So mulching options. Let us start with mulching. What is mulching? Mulching is the addition of undecomposed plant materials. Mulching is the addition of undecomposed planting materials such as straw or hay or processors' refuse to the soil under the plant, or processors' refuse to the soil under the plants. Types of mulching, we have got organic and inorganic mulching. Types of mulching, we have got organic and inorganic mulching. I may just tell you the function of mulching. So mulching helps to retain the soil moisture. It helps to retain the soil moisture by shading the earth and acts as a blanket. And acts as a blanket, not the blanket we use at home. It also acts as a blanket. Also, soil has got its own blanket, so you can see that. Yeah. So let us proceed. Advantages of mulching. Advantages of mulching. So mulching helps in soil moisture conservation. It helps in soil moisture conservation. The second one, it minimizes soil compaction and erosion. It minimizes soil compaction and erosion. The next one is regulate soil temperature. Regulation of soil temperature. It improves, the next one, it improves soil fertility. It improves soil fertility. And also it mitigates the salt stress in the soil. Mitigation of salt stress. Mitigation of salt stress in the soil. If there is too much salt in the soil, then it can mitigate. It declines weeds. If you do mulching, you can't do weeding. Not even a single day you will do weeding if you do heavy mulching. You may ask me best mulch to stop weeds. Best mulch to stop weeds. We have got wooden chips. Wooden chips, also known as wooden mulch. Wooden mulch. So that is the best one to stop weeds. Types of mulch. We have got straw. Types of mulch, we have got straw, compost, grass, wood. Types of mulch: straw, compost, grasses, wood, rubber mulch, landscape fabric, cardboard, bark of trees. You know, the bark of trees are also good for mulching. The bark of trees, and they're very good indeed. We have got paper, the ones that you throw away, they are good for mulching. So if you throw them away, you can use them in mulching, and they are very better. Even the cartons you can use for mulching. The cartons, if you use the cartons, then you put the sawdust, your soil will be good enough. We have got the gravel. We have got the gravel, leaf mold, wood chips, plastic mulch, bark chips, bark mulch, peat moss, manure, sawdust, and leaf mulch. So those are some of the examples of mulch you can use in your farm. The last and the foremost one, we have got the raised bed. That is the last part I'll talk about the lesson of today. Raised bed. What is a raised bed? Raised bed is a freestanding garden bed constructed. It is a freestanding garden constructed It is a freestanding garden bed constructed above the ground level. Above the ground level. You can be asked, what is rest? Rest means that the soil level in the bed is higher than the surrounding soil. So that is what is known as the rest. So benefits of raising a bed. Benefits of raising a bed. Lower growing season. First one is lower growing season. If we explain that, raised beds warm up more quickly in spring and drain better. Raised beds warm up more quickly in the spring and drain better. In brackets, assuming the soil is properly prepared. Assuming the soil is properly prepared. Closing bracket, comma, allowing for a longer growing season and better growing conditions, allowing longer growing season and better growing conditions. Types of raised bed. Raised ground beds. Raised ground beds, comma, supported raised beds. Raised ground beds, comma, supported raised beds. Like the one for Dennis, he supports them with the sticks. Yeah, he's doing a wonderful job indeed, Dennis. He's using most of his techniques to make the raised beds. Like the one for Dennis. So I use people as an example because I saw it. So supported raised beds, and we have got containerized raised beds. These ones are the ones you can use even the waste containers for water. You can use them. And also we have got the elevated raised beds. The last one is elevated raised beds. You can ask me, what can you put in the bottom of a raised bed? Because also I told you what you can put in the bottom of the Keyhole garden. So you can ask me this. You can put cardboard or newspaper. After reading the newspaper, you don't keep it. You can use it in your raised bed. You can put it in the bottom of it. So the uses of this cardboard or newspaper. Deter pests. First one, deter pests and weeds. So they stop pests and weeds. They stop pests and weeds. Deter pests and weeds. Next one, minimize the amount of chemical substances. Minimize the amount of chemical substances. And we say that is for today. That is the end of my lesson today. So I can give the opportunity to anybody who has got a question, and we proceed from there. Nicole, you can pick from there because I've finished my part. So you can pick from there. And if any case somebody asks a question, if you know, you can answer. It is not only me participating, but all of us. I give room for each and everybody to participate. So in case you have got an answer to someone's question, you can respond to it. Okay, Nicole, you can pick from there. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. There are a few little things I need to check with the notes, and I'll check those with you tomorrow. Okay, we know the drill. Just to say, now I am thinking about this issue of urban permaculture. Okay, now I know nothing basically. Okay, I'm absolutely like a baby. I know nothing. All right, so everything I'm learning is totally new. All right. Now I imagine so if I ask questions, you're like, this woman knows nothing. I'm telling you, I know nothing.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So if I want to get a bag, all right, because I know that, like, imagine one of those, like a big bag like that. Okay. And I want to put my soil in there and I want to grow a stash of potatoes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, a stupid question. Now, I can put in there paper or cardboard at the bottom. Yeah. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the bag. But
Yeah.
again, please forgive me if this question is a bit stupid or like a bit innocent. Do I have to put holes in to drain the water, or will it be all right for the water to be taken up by the card? What do I put holes in the bottom of the bag?
So if you use the card, you can put a little bit of the holes. But if you use the newspaper, it's not a must.
It's not needed to put holes if you use newspaper. Is that right?
Yes.
Because the newspaper will absorb the excess water.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And take it away from the soil so it won't over water the roots so that then they die. Is that correct?
Yes. But
Okay,
if you use the cardboard, you just put the tiny holes. It's not you put the larger ones. That's only the tiny holes, you know.
Okay. Okay.
To prevent the water loss.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Thank you so much. Because I want to really start with that. I want to look at this whole thing of like city growing. Where would I start with a big old bag? In fact, I'm going to go get you my bag and I'm going to show you my bag.
Yes, yes.
I'm coming back in a minute.
Okay. So anybody can ask a question if you have, or if you have something you can add on top of what we have learned today, you are free. Or Tracy, you can talk. You can say something. Because you are here in the urban area and you like to start urban permaculture. And we will start doing urban permaculture from tomorrow. So to all the people in the group, I visited Tracy, and it's really a pleasure. We'll start doing urban permaculture. We'll make it her farm, I mean, as from tomorrow. I brought banana seedlings, and we will plant them. Yes, he will prove the people in town that he can have his own bananas. Yes, so it's really much pleasure. So
I want to see those banana seedlings. All right. I want to before and after. Those are little baby banana trees. I've never even seen such a thing. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm begging you. I'm like stuck in the city. I know nothing.
I will show you.
Can I ask a question here? You see this bag? Now, this is hilarious because you see these bags? Everyone in England has got one of these. This is from IKEA. All right.
Yes.
You see this bag here? And it's not that deep. It's not very deep. Let me get out my measuring. Okay. Because this is what I want to check. All right. Because I want to grow in this. That's like 37, 38 centimeters. All right. Just longer than the size of an A4. All right.
Yes.
So is that deep enough for me to grow? Is it deep enough or should it be deeper?
Of course, that is enough for you to grow.
That's good news.
Yes, of course. You can use that. We have got some of the, we have got, they are cement bags. You know the cement bags?
Yes.
You can cut them into 2 pieces and you grow.
Ah, because I've often seen those bags. Okay. One last question.
So as long as you use the more of the organic matter, in this case now you will use more of the organic matter, you know. So that the plants can eat them as they grow, you know.
So you make the soil then very, very rich when you're using the bag.
Very rich.
Okay, you make it as rich as possible.
So in this bag, you put the rich soil.
Yes. Okay, fine. And would you mix, if you're just starting off, and would you mix in a bit of manure or compost in that to make that extra rich soil?
Of course, you have answered yourself.
Okay, fine. Yes. Thank you very, very much. Great. Okay, great. It's just a quick word. The place where I rent here in London, the lady who used to live here, she didn't live here, but she had a farm in the back. I'll go and show you some photographs one day. And she used to grow things, and because the soil was so rich, there was no chemicals or pesticides. Eventually she would have marrows that were like this big. I've got the photographs. I've got to show you. Okay. And bless her, she was tiny and the marrow was like half her size. The marrow was like half the size of the beautiful old lady. Okay. But because her soil is so rich, because she was like an organic farmer for many years out there, it's unbelievably rich. And I once used it in a outside in the window box to grow potatoes, and it was like boom, they went like that. Crazy, so strong. Anyhow, my apologies. Enough questions from me. Oh, one last question, please. What about plastic? How come you can mulch with plastic? You can actually mulch with plastic, did you say?
Did I say mulch with the plastic? I mean, you can use plastic jerry cans to plant.
Okay, my apologies.
Plastic containers. Yes, okay. I mean plastic containers. Like in my farm, I use the plastic containers, jerry cans. I cut them, then I put the rich soil, then I grow the kale.
Okay,
and I
my
think I posted them. Yes.
Thank you. My misunderstanding. I'm going to keep quiet now. I've always got 900 questions. Next person.
So, mulching is, you can do only mulching you do with the materials that can decompose easily into the soil.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. I misunderstood. I was worried about that. Please forgive me. End of my questions. Passing over.
Okay. Maybe we're weak on the other side.
Can you hear me?
Something. I can hear you.
You can or you can't? Can't?
I can hear you. I can hear you. So
positive?
You can just...
Yes, commercial people growing fruit and vegetables commercially use sheet plastic to cover the ground, to keep the moisture in, and to stop weeds growing. It's it's ready made in China with holes, you know, at set amounts along a row to put the cabbages or whatever. I plastic. We avoid plastic in this organic gardening, but yes, you'll hear mulch use sheet mulch, like a bit of black plastic usually. But it's not what we want. We're trying to avoid plastic. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, of course. I was concerned. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
And I have a warning to my group members. I just say it right away because I don't tolerate nonsense. I saw somebody posting YouTube video for song there. It's not necessary. Here the group is for posting permaculture. If you have got your song, you can send it to individual, or you have a request. Not that you post anything you want. Tito, that is a very bad behavior. I don't like it. So we can proceed from there.
Maybe it's a good song, but wrong place.
Yeah, but it's a good song. I don't deny, but it's posted in a wrong place.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So you can proceed from there, Wawik. I cut you off, so you can proceed.
No, it's just yes, plastic.
Yeah, maybe you have been in the permaculture field older than me, and you can know more about the permaculture. I give respect to you, so you can tell us something you have the ideas or what you have seen. Yes.
Maybe I'll talk globally. That I find it very distressing that so many people in the world, after a rice or fruit crop, they will burn the stubble, or they'll burn the stack of straw that comes from the threshing machine. I've seen it happen in Asia. That it should be spread on the field to keep the sun off the bare soil. It will break down slowly, but it's so common in Asia to just burn it. And it's very sad. It seems to be belief that ash actually is a fertilizer. It gives a little boost that you can see, but to keep the unburnt stubble, as mulch, ground cover, is a much better advantage, and it doesn't pollute the atmosphere. I know that the end of season, rice season in some countries like Indonesia can end up polluting Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand. The amount of smoke that's generated by burning off stubble at the end of season.
Yeah.
So that's mulch. Don't burn. I have this type of principle: don't burn anything unless you have a purpose, like to boil your coffee.
Yes.
Yes.
I second you, because if you burn the soil, then the organic organic matter inside the soil, or the warmth that leads to decaying of the organic matter inside the soil, you will kill them. Then there will be no decomposition in your soil. So your soil will not be good. If you kill the worms inside the soil after burning your soil, then it will be like useless. So let us prevent burning of the soil to the highest order. So is Christina still there?
Oh, she had to go, but she says best for all. So she had to go. Yeah. Quickly, I just wanted to say, Warwick, that one of the previous lessons you did say that there is an entire province in India, and it's on my list of things to do. There's an entire province in India where the agricultural policy is permaculture, and I haven't forgotten it. It's a case of time. I will look at it and I will feed back to the group. My apologies. Yeah.
Yes, of course. He sent me some of the videos in some of the places, so I have some of them.
Yes, yeah. Kerala, yes.
Yeah. So let us proceed. My brother Dennis, are you there? Is Dennis there?
Dennis, you need to unmute, my dear. There you are.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, and you can throw us some of the mango trees I'm seeing at your back there. Please send us some of the mangoes there. Okay, you can proceed.
Are you getting me?
Yes, we are getting you. You can say something. I think there's a problem.
Okay, thank you. It's like I have some problems.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dennis, take off the video and just speak without video and you should be all right. Okay.
We can't get anything from Dennis.
Yes, I'm getting you. We can say more. Promise going off.
Just talk, Dennis. Just carry on. Just talk. Okay, I think there is a network problem with Dennis. Hello, Dennis. Can you get us? Can you hear us from your side?
Hello?
Yes. Can you hear us? There is a problem with your phone. I think the network. Okay, Asi will be fixing the problem. Tayebwa, let us proceed to Tayebwa, if he's still there.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dancan, and everyone. Session. And I appreciate so much the teachings. So me, I would salute so much on this kind of using bags and plastics, because even here in Nakiva refugee camp, we find some refugees don't have land, but we
Yeah.
teach them how they can use the plastics. By the way, even around my home, I would like to show you, for example, like using these buckets and so
Yeah.
on. I would like to show you my garden that I use around here.
Yeah.
So this is example here. Don't know whether you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, these are the buckets, and we grow around.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is very much to Nakivali people. We teach them how they can use like plastics, and they grow vegetables around their homes if they don't have like a bigger land. So I'm so much grateful for this session. Thank you so much.
Yes, there is always a way for everything. It's wonderful. Who is again there? Before I give Tracy a chance here, she has got a question. Or let her ask the question, then we proceed.
I have a question about why you said that we can use the cardboard or the newspapers.
Yeah.
According to me, I don't really have an issue with the cardboard, but I have an issue with the newspaper because the newspapers have a lot of chemicals. You see, like sometimes even if you fold them with something and then you remove them, you can see the chemicals coming out. So is it healthy to put it in the soil, the newspapers?
So somebody can answer that if you have got a answer for that. Who can
don't
answer
know.
that? Warwick, can you answer that?
Could I comment, Warwick,
Yes.
here?
Yeah, if you can comment, you can answer, it's okay.
I'm not sure about where you are, but in the past, there was some chemicals in ink many decades ago. I think it was lead was taken out of ink.
Yes.
And it's true. I would agree, Tracy, that we use even cardboard must have some elements of synthetics or dyes or print dye. And I
Yes.
agree. I don't know how pure you want your system to be, but I think the whole world, to some degree, has been invaded by plastic and chemicals.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a question. I don't have an answer, but sometimes somebody said using old rubber tires, to make an embankment or a small garden.
Yes.
And somebody say that leach chemicals, but I keep how much chemicals? Agree. So even using a plastic bucket, say that some chemicals.
Yes.
But the question is to what degree and how harmful it is. I have that answer. Yes, that newspaper is okay if it's broken down. It probably has ink, and it's a fashion magazine. Very fine clay that is used to make very smooth, shiny paper is a clay.
Yes.
It's a Chinese word, kaolin, but it's a very fine clay, and the world supply of this very fine clay is limited and running out. So even our fashion magazines that make very glossy paper actually contain organic matter, not only the paper fiber itself, but the filler is this very fine clay. So yes, it's a question, Tracy, and I don't have the answer as to what degree you compromise by using ready-made materials in your garden, and because I think now all of us carry microplastics in our body, in our soils. It's very hard to escape. So good question. I don't have the answer, but I wouldn't worry too much about newspaper as compost.
Yes. So maybe according to me, if you use the newspaper, then you can reduce the chemicals by using the manure or the compost. So after using the newspaper, then you use a lot of the compost. then it can reduce the amount of chemical substances into the soil. Remember, there is always a way for everything, and there is always a way for every, so you can get a solution for everything. So in this case, if you use a newspaper, you can use most of the compost materials, a lot of them, to reduce the chemical substance inside the newspaper. And I think it can work.
And I might add that when we use large, well, you can use any newspaper or small pieces of cardboard, but the easy way for us is to get the really big boxes, the flat cardboard, but we always pull the tape off it, all the plastic tape that holds it together.
Yes.
Just not to introduce into the soil.
Mm.
Try to strip all the that type of stuff off the cardboard before you use it as sheet mulch.
Yes.
Quick question. Warwick, those fashion magazines, those glossy, shiny, clay-made fashion magazines, are they possible to use them as a mulch or the bottom of? So can they be used at the bottom of containers or for mulch?
Well, in my mind, they're a paper which is wood fibre, usually paper, and then they're filled with that kaolin. So I would imagine that they would be fine to use. They just break down a little differently or a little more slowly, I guess. I've seen them break down. A whole magazine gets wet and breaks down, and it actually looks like clay after.
Okay, it's really interesting. So what about the dyes and the inks there? Would that have a chemical residue, or are you saying that they're non-toxic and they can biodegrade?
Well, that's right. I'm not sure how inorganic they are, but I think some of the material that may have come to mind decades ago, I'm 73 now, so it was a long time ago, that they took out some of the really harmful chemicals from dyes like lead. Yeah.
That is a really interesting question. I mean, it's something we'll probably look at further on to find out kind of more about the dyes, because that is really interesting. I'll put that down there as something. Yeah,
but
thank
for
you.
like Tracy, she lives in a city, and she probably has an abundance of these material, and yet maybe Duncan lives in the country and would have to go out to find them to bring them back home a long distance,
But also the issue here of plastics and so on. In Tayeba's situation, and I can't speak for you, Tayeba, but you're talking about refugees with limited land. And at that point, I think it is a very pragmatic solution to and I know that there's going to be a degree of residue if they're not BPA, the ones that don't leak. But, I think that is a reasonably pragmatic solution at that point in time, rather to have plastic waste, but you reuse it as a growing plot. I mean, there's always going to have to be.
We have plastic bottles here, and usually the PET bottles seem to be more stable than the. I could grab one. So that bottle there is not PET. I forget what the chemical is, and in the sun that would break up more quickly than, say, this drink bottle here, which is PET.
I just think we have to respect the prerogatives of those with limited resources and the pragmatic solutions that they create. Do you know what I'm saying? What would you rather have? No land, no growing, or you use your bucket to create something? And I'm personally would advocate for using of recycling of those plastics, even though it's less than perfect.
Yeah, they can use even sack garden. That will work better even than the plastic ones.
What's that? What did you say?
The sack gardens will work better than the plastic ones.
Yeah.
I agree. In terms of collecting, storing water, that we're in a world of containers and we should use them, plastic containers, to try to collect and keep as much water as possible. And I've noticed even just plastic buckets left outside when they fill with water during the rainy season, and when plants grow around them, I don't do much, but it actually encourages frogs and other animals around those buckets, as long as the frogs can get out once they fall in. But, it's storing water itself attracts life. So maybe plastic is the handy way to store water in a very quick way. I notice also I can grab one. I'll be a moment.
The problem is with the way that I see it is with the scale of plastics production, and we have an enormous amount of plastics waste already. And in an ideal world, that plastics waste would be perfectly safe, but it isn't. Do you know what I'm saying? It isn't. And so it's a case of how do we decide to use something in a meaningful way as opposed to just having waste? And that's a very big industrial global question.
Oh, I agree. I think
it's a very big question.
Well, I think there's enough. I know I'm what is it, putting on a manifesto here, but there's so many plastic containers in the world that solve many solutions by just using them in a better way.
100%. I mean, they are looking into repurposing of these things for buildings, insulation, and so forth and so on. And there's meltdown practices. The problem is with meltdown practices is what is the level of chemical residue of such a process? Is that worse or better than having just literal physical waste at that point in time? You know, at the end of the day, we need to find a solution to mass manage our plastics problem and to find an alternative at a scale that is manageable on a clean green chain. But in the meantime, we have to deal with the fact that we've got a world full of plastic, and we've got to find a way to manage that nonsense, that hell. Anyhow, sorry, it's a long discussion. It's a very interesting. I mean, the real problem here is about material science and where material science stands in managing mass industrial chains in a way that is low impact for the planet. And the science just isn't there yet on that scalable level at all.
No. And I'm holding what I tend to collect, imagining one day I will cut the tops out, put a handle on them, like I see in so many videos in the rest of the world, where people make their own little buckets around their farm. This is usually an oil container, I think familiar to most people. Things like that I find handy. Yeah. Collect water wherever I can. And we have town water where I live. I live in the suburbs, and my water bill is almost zero because most of my it's really for drinking only and maybe washing, but you know, I can usually collect water in the garden, and as it gets dirtier and dirtier, you know, washing things, well, maybe at the end I might tip that out, but some people just use fresh water for everything, and it just seems a crime in the developed world that we have this thing called potable water that is taken up to a level, you know, we can drink it and then we use it to flush our toilets.
This is a big crime. This is a monumental crime. What we need, and again, I mean, the whole idea of grey water and black water and water recycling systems is what we need mass manufactured, affordable at scale water system management for homes. Okay. And by no stretch of the imagination are we at that point. So imagine if we could take your solution and provide that through the water companies, okay, as a mandatory requirement, okay, and provide that on a level which is scalable. Then we're talking about an ideal situation. Yeah. Okay. I do know that the World Bank is looking to create a global standard for buildings efficiency. I know that they're literally building that. They're trying to build that right now across literally the whole globe, across every single country in the world. They're trying to get to a mandatory minimum, which of course is desperately needed. Sorry, we spun off sideways into policy, which forgive me, I'm going to keep quiet.
Well, can I ask a question of our other people in Kenya? Do you have to buy bottled water, you know, to drink, or do you buy it in big bottles, or there is a drinkable tap water, or I just hope that you don't. I have friends who always buy bottled water, and it makes me angry because we could just get it out of the tap, put it in a bottle and take it in our backpack, but they always buy water.
Yeah, so we here in Kenya, it depends where you live. Like, if you live in the city, you will have to buy the plastic bottled waters. And even Tracy is buying one, it's there over there. And but here in our village, we don't buy, we use tap water. So we just drink the tap water, we don't buy water.
And my image is not only does somebody spend money, $2.50 or even $3.50 to buy something like this sometimes, but then you give birth to another bottle into the world that has to be recycled.
To what you have said, I always don't like the water which are being bought because all the minerals are removed away from them and they lack minerals inside them. So I always prefer water from boreholes and other things. They contain a lot of minerals which are very helpful in the body. But you see this bottle, the water that are being bought by the bottles, they have removed the minerals in them, and I don't think if they are good for the health. But the other ones, the salty ones, or they still contain the minerals from the water from the bowls. They contain a lot of minerals, calcium that is very helpful in the body.
I
That is
believe in
my
something called units of change, right? And it's built into my environmental education program. And what this means is that when you have a solution, you model that solution. And then what happens is when your friends go around with plastic water bottles, you talk about that in a way which is really pleasant with them. Yeah, you don't chastise them. You model the solution yourself. Okay, that's just a thought. But anyhow, It's just a thought. All right.
Yeah.
It's not naughty. It's look at this wonderful solution.
Called my own plastic bottle.
You know, isn't this wonderful? Anyhow,
And can I say that? And most of the time, my own plastic bottle is a commercial bottle that has already been emptied, and then I just use tap water to fill it. You know. But I might add that the water resources around the world is controlled by big companies. And we hear in some countries it costs more to buy a bottle of water than to buy a bottle of Coca-Cola. So, and often Coca-Cola is the same company that produces the water, sells the water.
There are enormous hegemonies globally around all of our resources. And really, an hegemony is a form of control, just to translate that word. There's commercial control, right, in big corporations across the world. And that's why grassroots programs like Dancan's program that teach individuals and communities about self-sufficient solutions, that can actually also reflect mass global solutions, as in syntropic agroforestry is one of the major global strategies for reforestation. And it's the matching of the micro with the macro that I believe to be very important, all right? So that it's modeling those micro solutions. So every single time Dancan teaches a new person, you change a community, you change a climate, and you do it little by little by little. I'm not a person who accepts defeat. So I don't deal in language of doom. I don't trade in the language of doom. I simply do not and will not. All right. Because it uninspires and it disinspires. Okay. And so from my point of view, where I've taught people who can't write a full sentence, I've taught them environmental education. I cannot get engagement. If I'm teaching them about doom. I can get engagement if I'm teaching them about positivity and the things that they can do and that are powerful. That's my position.
Right. I could say that I often reflect on my birthday was just a few days back at 73. And I keep saying, I shouldn't worry about doom because I'm going to die long before you guys, and you have to.
We don't deal in doom, not around here. We deal in there is always a way, don't we, Dancan? So I'm a bit strict about that. It's hilarious.
Yes, there's always a way. That is the truth.
I start my course off. The very first question I ask all students in my course is, are you important? And the reason is because every single human being on this planet is important. Bottom line, beginning of the story, end of the story. So let's not talk about my things. We're working about this, but I'm just saying I have a very strict policy on no doom. I know just how bad it is, but it doesn't help.
A doom-free zone.
Eco-positive. That's what we do around here. We fix things. Duncan's laughing.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Can I speak?
Yes, you can speak.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening to you, Bruno.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed the lesson.
Yeah.
But I have got a point of concern.
Yes.
Just on the concerning the Keyhole garden, the swale and the other designs that we talked about.
Yeah.
My question is, when constructing
Bruno, switch off your video and you'll just talk with sound. It should help.
Frozen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could joke and say conspiracy.
Okay.
He
It's let us, we can even, you can, Bruno, so you can even ask the question in the group. Yes, or you can even send a message, then you will be answered. Okay? Okay?
hear it. Where is he gone?
Gone. He's probably going to come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know the irony is we talk about amazing that we can talk on Zoom, but it's not perfect yet.
Oh yeah, well, it's actually the bandwidths. It's people's individual bandwidths.
It depends on the network where the person is,
Totally.
or the phone RAM. So at times it can hang after taking. Zoom is like a heavy one, so it can hang up. Yeah,
precisely.
So
Dancan,
we don't blame them. We don't blame them. Yeah, of course.
No.
Yeah, so they can still, the group is dedicated for sharing ideas and asking questions, and you are being answered. It's not only here that you can ask your questions in the Zoom, but even in the group, if you have got a problem, you can ask there. And if somebody knows, he or she can answer you back. So Bruno, don't have a problem with that. Please, you can ask your question in the group, and still you will be answered. Yes.
Dancan, where do you stand time-wise? Because we've kind of been going for an hour and a half. Should we...
and we've not noticed it's gone quickly.
It always makes me laugh. Sorry about that.
Yes, the meeting was scheduled for 1 hour. Now it is 1 hour 30 minutes. Because of the questions. Of course, but we cannot. We have to answer some of the questions. We can't answer all the questions in the Zoom. Some will be answered in the group.
Okay, well, maybe make a mention if we're near the end that we've been hearing about record temperatures in the northern summer, and I'm in Australia. We're going through a very warm winter, and I'm afraid that our next 6 months later we might be in a very hot time here in Australia. So water is important. Conserve water wherever you can, in any bucket, anywhere. And I think Australia must prepare for a very hot summer. If the northern people are in these record high temperatures, maybe we're in for a record high temperature in 6 months' time.
Let's just cut to the chase. The implications globally of climate change are system collapse. This is why we're modeling. We're modeling real world ground level solutions right now, okay, to do with things like organic food security, okay? So absolutely. And this is why I hope that these increased temperatures globally are also going to wake up big corporates around the world to start pulling finger. Because frankly, what they've done is they've put profit before the welfare of this planet. They've put profit before the welfare of humanity. So we're hoping that they can get their feet a little bit sizzled, in the forthcoming weeks and months, so they can start to jump.
That's right. I think the only way they will jump is if they're pushed.
They are being pushed. There's greater incentive. I do know about this from somebody who works at this level, and I can't obviously quote him, but I do know that the imperatives are really getting very, very heavy. And I do also know that the uptake of renewable energy globally is exponential. So that's another thing to look at, because we do need to realize that 73% of all emissions come from the power and the energy sector. Okay, so it's really, in total, our real problem lies on the global grid, and the global grid is being looked at as a priority, particularly in the developing world. So I check on this stuff with somebody who reports back to me with policy. We will continue to fight.
Yeah, of course, we will continue and continue. We will not be tired. We will
No.
continue and continue. So please check for me the people who are still there, the food security people who are still there with us in the Zoom meeting.
But
Dennis
you
is
want
still
to
there?
secure some food?
Yes.
I
Dennis,
think Bruce.
are you still there?
Yeah.
I'm in the line, eh?
Okay, Bruno,
Yes.
Taebwa.
Hello. I was a little bit off, but
Yes.
my question was,
Yes.
should we be considering the 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 direction to which the compost bin should be facing?
No.
Well,
Even before you finish, it is no. You can make compost anywhere you want.
okay. So
Don't consider the direction.
I'm directly speaking to the bin itself, not the
The
compost
bin.
bin. Yeah, the
Oh, you
bin,
mean the compost
the compost
bin
bin.
that is placed in
Yeah,
the Keyhole garden.
yeah,
You
For
see, you
yeah. Because
I hope
maybe
you have
some
the idea
places
of
are
how the
hilly.
Keyhole garden looks like,
Yeah.
and you know there is a keyhole there. That's where you spring water. You can put everything. You can
Oh,
easily access the area of your keyhole. So you just place it in front of that key there, in front of
okay.
it there, or inside or in the center. So whichever which
So,
works the best. But I prefer you put it in just there between you just put it there after the key there, you just place it there. So when you are you remove the waste from the kitchen, you just step inside that key and you place everything there to give you easier time.
so for again to the entrance,
Yes, the entrance of the keyhole there. You see that
why
key that gets inside there. That
maybe
makes
I may
it
say I created my keyhole on an hilly area.
yeah.
Should my entrance so I was majorly interfering to the entrance of the keyhole. Should it face down?
No. No, like that one, it doesn't matter because even I constructed the Keyhole garden for Joseph Ogembo, and we
Yeah.
constructed it in a hilly place, but still
Yeah.
the key was facing down, so it doesn't matter, my boy.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I know people have got a lot of questions. Let's post them in the group, and you will be answered because I see the time is running.
Duncan, we can also do another session which is dedicated to we can take we'll discuss this where we can do a dedicated question and answer session, all right, where we spend a whole hour and a half just catching up. What are your issues? What do you need fixed? What are your questions? So we always will fit that in, all right? So I support Duncan with checking what he wants to do next, and that might be something that people need. All right, Duncan, we'll talk about it. You decide, okay?
Yes. Of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So the reason why today I finished so early because I knew people will have a lot of questions, and you can see now it's 40 minutes past the time.
Yeah.
So that's why today I finished up so early so that we can have time for some of the questions. And you can see even Dennis hasn't asked the question, so let us keep some of the questions in the group.
Yes.
Yes.
But Duncan, we can also talk about scheduling a proper dedicated question and answer session because everybody has their little inquiries, not little, but their particular inquiries that they want to check. Okay.
Of course.
We'll talk about it. All right.
Yeah. That's okay. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that.
Excellent.
Yeah. We can schedule that, and people can ask the questions they need.
That's great because then you'll be dealing with all of those particular issues, and one person's issue will be another person's issue. So one person's question will help another person. You know.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for the class. It is really a wonderful class indeed. And let's keep on moving. You know, I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate.
Thank you so much, Duncan. I hope I didn't talk too much. All right. Tracy, it's not funny.
We center.
It's the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
okay, Nicole.
Okay,
okay.
bless you, Duncan. Duncan is my leader. Warwick, thank you so much for all of your expert input and bye-bye Tayebwa. Duncan will say goodbye to everybody. Duncan will say goodbye. It's his class.
So I think before we say goodbye, Tracy can talk because she is my host and she can say something before I leave the group. I think that will be nice because she haven't talked.
Excellent.
Oh my God. So I'm the opposite of Nicole. I talk very little, but Nicole, I like the way you talk, the way you're free, the way you make the class to be lively.
Oh,
Same Warwick. You know, we cannot all be the same. We must have people who talk, some who listen, some who are shy, some who are loud. It is allowed in a classroom. That's why we've got prefects.
And I'm the prefect.
You mean as a leader or as
that is hilarious. Bless you, Tracy. That's very, that's lovely. Right. Yeah, that's lovely.
So like you also, I'm learning, and that's why I always attend the classes. I'm learning. I'm a new student, and I'm willing to learn. And I told Duncan to come to my place because I rent this place, and I have 18 children. And sometimes even buying that food, it's So I was talking with Dancan, and Dancan came up with a solution of helping me we can plant some vegetables, plant some things that we can grow that it can help to cut down the cost of the food. And also, he can also teach the children how to grow the food, to take care of the food, and also he can also apply some other things on the compound, which I don't know, he'll see tomorrow and then he'll know what to do and what not to do, as we're just there to learn. So I'm just like you. We're in the urban place where everything is being bought in the supermarket, and people, they don't know about this. They know people buy food from the rural area, so they don't have that idea that you can have your own food grown in plastic bags or whatever. But I'm really happy for this group, and I'm really happy for Dancan for coming. So we are going to be visiting two places. We are going to go to where I'm staying. It's not a slum, but when Dancan finishes here, we are going to go to a school, which is a slum, and it really needs this project. So when Dan is going to be there, I'm sure that Dan is going to come up with a very good idea and a sustainable project that will also help the school. The school is for Andrew Omamo. He was supposed to be in the group, but I think he got held up. But we will be sending you videos and showing you what we are doing. And also here we are starting tomorrow. So I'm really excited to learn and to be a student. And then maybe in future I'll also teach you guys how to plant your own food.
Yes, of course. I've got different plans for the people in this group. Maybe let us hope for the best, and there's always a way. I will have to visit each and every person wherever they are maybe in the other countries, people like Taebwa. Yeah, maybe I would like to also to come there and see you guys over there. So
This is
Yeah,
remarkable. What you're going to be able to do, and I look forward to collecting those videos and the videos and creating material from that to share with others. And I just want to say as well, your idea, Tracy, there, one day you can teach other people. It's like Dancan teaches you, and then you can continue to teach other people. And I believe that that's where we can see that degree of change step by step. You know?
yeah, and the kids teach the other kids to do
Yes.
it at their place.
Yes.
Yeah, and the
Precisely.
cycle grows and grows and grows and grows.
Precisely. Precisely.
Yeah.
I call it learn, teach, do. You learn, then you teach, and then you do, and then you just do it again. All right, you do it again, and you do it again, and every single time you do the right thing, you're going to be teaching somebody else. Yeah.
Yes. That's the idea, because we've said we are not giving up. So whatever we are learning is not going to die. It's going to grow. Yeah.
We must believe in the power of nature. We are nothing compared to the power of nature. Nature is very, very, very strong. Okay. All right. So we're trying to tap in and respect the power of nature.
So everyone here in the group is welcome to come and visit me, whether you're in Australia, America, anywhere. Feel free. This is your home. And thank you for the group, and thank you for accepting me in the group. And I'm also a musician. Go to my YouTube channel, Tracy Kadada. See what I do. Support my music, because if you support my music, if you support my music, I'm able to feed the kids, take them to school, and also do something with the money, because the YouTube channel is going to pay me. They've already told me if I get 1,000 subscribers, they're going to start paying me. So I have the last likes that they want, but the subscribers I don't have. So through you and sharing, you're going to help me. And also through that, we can even go with Dan and help other projects in the slum to grow.
Yeah. So what Tracy means is that even when we subscribe to the channel, she can get money and she can get transport. We can move to different places. So it's not only to feed the children, but also to support other people. So it's a good idea.
Yes,
of course.
absolutely.
So let's do permaculture. We share ideas and listen to the music.
You have so got to have Dancan in a music video. You and Dancan have just got to do a music video. Okay.
Yes, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I just saw what the question briefly that I was going to ask. Your channel name, so we can get it.
Okay, Dancan will share it. Dancan,
I will share them with you. I will share it with you a week.
Group, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I might.
All right.
Now that I know, Tracy, what you are doing in the city, or one hand is maybe growing food and permaculture. Now your other part is looking after children. My model that I would think is ideal is a school that also teaches cooking. That if we I could go into a long stream of why this idea's come together, and I saw it in Cambodia on a video where a British famous cook was there, and he was assisted in his pursuit to cook Cambodian food by an apprentice chef who was in an orphanage in where they were teaching. That was where they specialised in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh, in the capital. Gordon Ramsay, that's right. Yeah, when he was there. And it reinforced my idea that they're a natural hander growing good food and how to cook it. And it would feed, it's a function in the orphanage itself to be able to do all that and to teach the kids to be independent. But it's also, if it's at a right level, it can train chefs.
Wow.
And when you mentioned buying in the supermarket, even my friend showed me something that was a Thai dish that you could cook yourself, but all the components were in plastic bags, and it was like a whole lot of plastic just to bring this dish home to cook yourself. The chicken was in one bag, the herbs were in another bag, the noodles were in another bag. They were wrapped in a big bag. It's like plastic everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we need to change that.
Of course.
Yeah.
No to plastics.
Yes.
At the end of the day, if you know, there's all models. I'm meeting up with an agriculture teacher soon who in here in the college in London, in UK as well, and he is interested in food security and employment opportunities and all of these things. And I'll definitely be getting Dancan on the Zoom as well. All right, because I want us to talk about those models as well, ways in which people can actually have food security and financial security through creating urban food markets. Okay,
Of
urban
course.
food markets, affordable
Yeah.
urban food markets. What's not to
Right.
love? Okay, what's not to love? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, to my encouragement to the people in my group, let us not think of today, but let us think of tomorrow also.
Yes.
Yes.
If you don't have a dream, how are you going to have a dream come true? As in South Pacific, the
Yes.
movie.
We make
Very
what we
famous.
want. We create it. We do it. That's what we do. We go, right, that's what we're going to do now. We're going to fix that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we do. That's what humans do. That's what people do. That's what humans do. Yeah.
Yes. It's really nice. Today I see the discussion is very nice and enjoyable.
I know. I swear we could have such a party. One day we're going to meet each other and we're going to just have such a party.
Of course, we will meet each other. Of course, we will
Of
meet
course,
each other.
of course, of course, of course, of
There's
course.
always a way for everything.
Thank
Who
you,
knew I could
Dancan.
meet Tracy? Who
That's
knew I
got to
could
be your
meet Tracy?
song. That's got to be your song. There is always a way.
There's always a way. It is
There is
possible.
always a way. They tell me I can't do things. I tell them that they're wrong.
Yeah.
You see?
I can see you can do a backup.
Yes, and me too. I can sing. I can sing for you.
We've got to do it. That is
There is
hilarious.
also
For me, because I don't understand it.
I know. I think we all have a
Okay.
library that could be the songs of our life. Just one song after another would probably tell our story. Each one would be a
Yeah.
little different.
Yeah,
I did it my way, you know.
exactly. Exactly. My dears, Dancan, you have to end the meeting, not me. You're the boss. You end it. I can't do it. I'm so bossy, and you've got to be very careful of me. Right, Dancan, you end the meeting.
Okay, but if people are happy, what will we do? We have to
I know.
live when the faces are smiling the way
Yes.
we started it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's a really pleasure to meet you guys once again. I was really having a flu, but because the nature loves me and the power I have, I was only sick for a day, for hours. I mean, I was sick for hours. Then in the evening, I felt better, and I again started working with the new energy. Keep up the good work you guys are doing, and hope we'll support you people and also meet you when everything will be fine in future. So I wish you all the best. Let us cooperate in the same mood and let us do our best to change our Mother Earth. We are the people to change it. You are the one to change it. Don't wait for anybody. You are the one to do it yourself. Then others will follow. Thank you
That's
so
it.
much. See you
Yeah,
next
thank
time.
you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye
Thank you
all.
so much.
Meeting
Thank you
ends.
so much, Dancan and everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah.